This is the second part of the 2.0 tutorial series. In this video, I will be showing you the basics of creating an intersection that is controlled by traffic lights. To show that, I'm going to change the intersection from the last video. Let's jump right in. The first thing you want to do is disable the vehicles so we can build your intersection in peace. To do that, simply type /trafficsim pause spawners into chat, and this will disable vehicles from spawning. Vice versa, you can simply type /trafficsim continue spawners to enable vehicle spawning once again. Now that that is done, we can start by placing the traffic lights in the appropriate places. I will start with this road here. Let's extend the pole a little bit and remove the signs for now. We can then grab a traffic light from the inventory, and when you place down the traffic light, you will notice that it simply shows as a flat texture. And this is the case with most blocks from this mod. You will first have to select the traffic light type. And to do that, grab the editor and right-click the traffic light. You will see a list of all traffic lights that have been added through content packs. If you don't see any traffic lights in this list, that means that you don't have any content packs installed that add any. Select the type that you want and hit confirm. You can see that it's possible to change the type again here if you want to. There also exists the option to offset the block, and you can give traffic lights an ID. I will explain later what that means and how that can be used. For now, we want to change the bulbs. Click on the bulb you want to change and press edit. As you can see, you can put any images you like inside the slot. But not all images have vehicles react to them. We can either look for bulbs directly by searching, so for example if I type red into the search bar, you can see there are a couple of options. But you can also filter images by context. Press this button here and we can only show images that have a traffic light reaction. If we change this to drive, you can see all the green bulbs now. For the top bulb, I will of course be picking the red one though. When you press confirm, you have the option to highly customize the image in detail, but we will skip over this part in this tutorial. Simply press save and exit, and now do the same thing for all other bulbs. Once all the bulbs are in place, we want to copy the traffic light with the copy tool and place it in as many places as we want. Now we will need the traffic light control box. You can place it pretty much anywhere you want, but you will need to connect all traffic lights to it. To make this process a bit faster, you can open the settings screen that I showed you in the last part. You can open it by pressing R by default. If you're holding the editor item, you can toggle multi-connect inside the placement tab. You can see that it's enabled in the item lore. Now all you need to do is shift and right click the traffic light control box and then go to each traffic light and do the same. When you're done, just right click the controller and you will see an overhead view of the surrounding map with all traffic lights that are connected to this controller. The only thing you can do now is to select the cycle for this controller. And you now have two options. You can either create a new cycle, or you can select a cycle that already exists, either from a content pack or one that you made yourself. In this tutorial, I will be showing you how you can set up a pre-made cycle from the default content pack, as well as make one yourself. And this gets a little more complicated, so bear with me here. We will start by setting up a pre-made cycle. You can see there exists a folder called TS Default. Click that, and you can see all cycles that have been added through the default content pack. When you select one, for example, the basic intersection, you can see a description on the right. It explains what the cycle will do. If you scroll down, you will find a list of all controllables that are required for that cycle. In this case, you would need two sets of traffic lights. The first set needs to be labeled with the ID traffic light 1, while the other set has the ID traffic light 2. This is the controllable ID that you saw inside the traffic light UI when you put in all the bulbs a moment ago. When you give your traffic lights the appropriate names, the controller knows what to do with them. At the bottom, you see which programs work with this cycle. I know that this was quite a bit to digest, but it's not too difficult once we do this together. I will now select this basic intersection cycle. Now the controller screen looks a bit different with some more buttons. But before we can do the final step, remember to name the traffic lights accordingly. That means, for the cycle that we just selected, we give all traffic lights in one direction the ID traffic light 1, and all traffic lights in the other direction the ID traffic light 2. And once that is all done, let's jump back into the controller. We now want to add a program to this controller that controls our cycle. The cycle just provides the phases for the traffic lights, but the program controls the order and duration of those phases. Now press the Edit Program button. A small program block will have already been generated for you. You probably wonder what any of this means now. In this tutorial, I will not explain how programs work in detail, but I can show you what this block does here exactly. All you really need to know is that you can change the duration of the phases with these arguments at the bottom. But how do you know what each number does? Simply click the program up here and you will see the description on the right. Pay special attention to the arguments as they tell you exactly what each number does, and that in order. You can see the first number controls the green time for the first set, and the second number controls the green time for the second set of traffic lights, and so on. Now that you know that, you can change these numbers how you'd like. If you now exit the controller, all traffic lights should be fully functional. To have vehicles react to them, connect each node to its respective traffic light. And that way, all vehicles crossing the given node will know which traffic light to listen to. And don't forget to type /trafficsim continue spawners to have vehicles spawn again. You can do so much more though than just making a basic traffic light cycle. Let's now create our own and give this left turn lane a dedicated green phase. I will first change the traffic light ID of this traffic light to traffic light left, but you can call it anything you'd like. We just want to differentiate this traffic light exactly from others since it now has its own special phases. You only want traffic lights to have the same ID if they do exactly the same thing. Let's jump back into the controller and change the cycle. This time you want to press the Add button. You can now give it a name and also put in a folder by using slashes if you want to. When you select it, you're now allowed to edit your cycle. If you press Edit, you're reminded that all controllers that use this cycle are affected by it. If many controllers use the same cycle, changing one cycle will automatically affect all other controllers as well that are using it. We now want to add some phases. Press the Add button to add the first one. You can also change the ID of a phase if you want, but it's not mandatory. It's just to better differentiate them. The list on the right shows all traffic lights and other controllables like crossing gates that are controlled by this phase. You can also press the Add button here to add controllables. You now see a list of all controllables that are connected to this control box with a big checkbox next to them. And that tells you if they are part of the selected phase. You can toggle each one by pressing the checkbox or by clicking them on the map. If you hold Shift when clicking a box, you will toggle all controllables of that type. That means all traffic lights or all crossing gates, etc. And once they're added, you can now change their state in the list on the right. Simply click a bulb to toggle between on and off. If you hold Shift while clicking a bulb, all other bulbs will be toggled off. If you hold Control, you can fully customize the on-off sequence of the bulb, making it blink and flash just how you'd like. When you're done editing the phase, you can simply copy it by pressing the yellow C and then make the appropriate changes to the next phase. I will give all phases some appropriate IDs and add the rest of the phases that are needed for our T intersection with dedicated left turn. By creating all these phases, you have defined all possible states that the traffic lights can be in. All that's left now is to create a program that controls them all. Press the Edit Program button again. If you still see the old program blocks, click the More Options button and select Clear Program. All you have to do now is connect all phases in the order that you want to. Click the folder icon in the top left corner, then select Simulation, Traffic Light Controller, and select the Set Traffic Light Controller Phase block. Connect the Start port to the Input port so that this block is executed when the program starts. Press the Pick Phase button or type the phase ID directly to select the phase that you want to set. Now, before setting the next phase, we want to wait a little bit. Inside the folder called Internal, you'll find a Wait block. Select that and connect it to the Set Phase block. Here, you can specify the amount of ticks that need to pass before the next phase can start. Now you can repeat the process to complete your program. If you right-click a block, you can copy it. Right-click anywhere else in the program to paste that block, and use that so you don't always have to jump between folders. Also very important, don't forget to connect your last block to the input port of the first block so your program can loop. Otherwise, it will only run once. And that's it. Your custom program should now be fully functional. I hope this tutorial was helpful to you. Join my Discord server for all the latest information on the mod's development, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye bye.